All right, so I have my character, and I just made a border, a little black outline border around. And now I'm selecting that border, and I'm going to duplicate that onto its own layer that I'm just going to float above everything else on the very top. Now the reason I'm doing that is so that this black border is around everything, and it will help me place all my character layers onto the stage and within the stage. And that's because if you just have a free floating layer and you copy and paste it on its own, it isn't going to give you what you need. So I'll turn that off for the moment and turn off this background. And this is how we can merge the images we want into what we actually need for our frames, because this stage is only for finished animation frames. So right now, I'm on the stage, I have my background set, and I need to move my character to the right places. So all these eyeballs that I have on, I'm going to select all of those. Actually, here's the easiest thing. I'm going to turn off that background. And I'm going to say layer. I have to select one of the layers that's showing. Layer merge visible, but I'm going to hold down Option when I do that. So then it creates a new fresh layer. I'm going to move that to the top. It's called layer 11. I'm going to make these orange. These are my finished character frames. So layer 11 has all of the attributes that I had the eyes turned on for, all in one layer. Now the reason I need that is because with the camera move, I can't have the animation look like this with the bird kind of hovering in place, right? I need to have the bird move with the camera so that it gets revealed. So what I'm going to do let's see. What I have to do is first get rid of all those animation frames until I'm ready to actually output them. And I take layer 11, which is my complete layer, put it on top, mark it as orange. And I need to find the movement of the background, the first place that I would see that creature. And it would probably be about here in this frame. So I'm going to mark this kind of puppet placement to go with layer 7. So I'll call it with 7. Then I'll move my character with the move tool into the place. Okay. And now I'll make a duplicate of it. And I'm going to call this one with 8. Because as he moves over more, I have to move my creature to move with that background. So let me turn off the others so I can see it. So now he's there. Make a duplicate of that. Let's see, is there a 9? And then 9 should already be good. then by 9 it should kind of be naturally in place. So I have with 7, with 8, and with 9, just to match the character to my camera move. Okay, so the trick here. Whoops. I can't have the background on when I'm merging visible. So now I'm going to merge visible again, holding down Option, saying Layer Merge Visible, or Shift Command E, and this will be my with 9. Mark it orange. Bless you. And that's the tricky part, like getting everything to move together. Okay, so now I have all of these assets. I have to build them slowly like I did with these and animate this character in place. So let me save it first. And now I turn layer 9 or with 9 off, and this is my default placement. And now I'm going to just make little changes. So the eyelid, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see these changes. So I'm going to make the eyelid start to move up. Turn off that lower eyelid. Or what's actually nice about something like an eyelid where it all covers is I can leave all of them on for the different movements. It's pretty subtle. Let me make the lower eyelid a little bit more dramatic. You don't want to waste your layers by not fully making the animation visible. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go from there to there. I'm going to go with the upper eyelid from there to there. I'm going to go with the bird's body to the next one. And I'm going to go with the beak to being more open, but not all the way open. Okay? So now I've posed my puppet in a different way. And what do? I have to click on a layer that's visible. I have to turn off the background. I have to just trust that it's in the right place. And then I hold down Option and say Layer Merge Visible. And this is my next asset. And I won't rename them anymore, I'll just color them. So I'll drag that above and I'll mark it as orange. And so what my bird does is goes from this to this. Right. Now I could do this all in my character assets folder too, and then bring the character over. And what's really tricky about that is that I would have to place it in the right place each time. So I'm trying it this way, trying to build it all within the stage. But ultimately I'll have to erase everything except for my final frames. And you'll see why once I feel like I'm done animating this puppet. So it takes a lot of understanding. Okay, now I'm going to turn that one off. And I'm going to move the lower eyelid some more. One more step, and I'm going to move the upper eyelid one more step. And I'm going to move the body one more step. And I'm going to move the beak to being more open. And the eyes are almost closed, and the beak's more open. And then I'm going to select one, doesn't matter which one, and say, as long as it's visible, hold down Option and say Layer. And I do have the black outline Oh, I'm not turning it on. Yeah, let's just ignore the black outline for now. That's too complicated to explain. And now I will hold down Option and say Layer Merge Visible. I'm going to mark that as orange and drag it up on top of my finished orange character frames. Turn that off. Close my eye all the way with the upper and lower eyelid. Position him yet again. Start closing the beak again. Hold down Option, Layer Merge Visible. Holding down Option is essential, otherwise you would lose all your asset layers. Move it up above. And the reason I leave these layer names now, instead of linking them to certain backgrounds, is because the background is fixed, and I want these to always go in sequence. Okay, now I have all the eyes closed, but I still have a bird body I can use. So maybe I start to open the eyes again. And then I close the beak again. So this is a new pose that's never been seen because I'm alternating between the beak, the eye, and the wings. So I'm going to get a lot of movement without having to create that many new assets. Hold down Option, Merge Visible, drag this new character frame up to the top. So I've animated a lot already. Each of those a unique pose of the bird with a different eye placement, different beak, different body. It just takes playing with each of these little asset kind of puppet features. I definitely want to get his eye all the way open again. And his body maybe back to its original pose. And we are just creating lots of layers. And I want to do everything I can with all these character asset layers before I then delete them. And this is a lot like stop motion, little clay puppets you pose, but then you'll also put in different mouths, different teeth, different eyes with each shot. So each time I'm hitting Option and I'm merging the layers that are visible, it's like I'm taking a photograph of that character in that pose, all together. Opening up the eye a little bit more, opening the eye a little bit more. Moving the body back again. And closing the beak up. Holding down Option, ready for the photo. Layer, Merge Visible. Then I put that finished character frame where it needs to go. Now the reason I keep the character separate from the background is so then I can go in after the fact and I can do stuff with the background as well. Like have clouds rolling in. And I'll just know how to play this character's movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I want at least one more frame, about 10 frames of character movement. Hold down Option, ready to take the shot.